Hi, this is Gurasi Singh, and you're listening to my Thick Accent podcast. So imagine living comfortably in your homeland, where every corner holds cherished memories and the warmth of familiarity envelops you. But then life takes an unexpected turn. A decision made with the hope of a better life becomes life threatening, forcing you to leave behind everything you have ever known: your family, your home, your country in pursuit of safety. And today is the story of my guest today. Born and raised in Venezuela, she experienced a childhood filled with love and dreams, and she was poised for a fulfilling career. However, circumstances beyond her control pushed her to make a life altering decision, immigrating to Canada. Join us as we explore her courageous move to Canada, her initial struggles in a foreign land, and the relentless job search. Discover the beauty of her resilience, which guided her through the darkest times, including escaping an abusive relationship. Prepare to be inspired by her unwavering spirit and her commitment to helping others rebuild their lives. This episode promises a powerful story of triumph, resilience, and enduring human spirit. Please welcome Karla Madina.
Hi, thank you.
Welcome to the podcast, Carla. Very happy, very excited to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here too.
Okay, awesome. So, Carla, want to start by asking you about the quote which is on your LinkedIn banner, which says, "Be the light that helps others see." I want you to tell us why this quote and why this relates to you.
Well, I have always been very passionate about helping others, but after immigrating to Canada, experiencing my own skin, not having family, not having friends,
Hmm.
not having a group of support, the one that you are used to when you are in your country. And I saw all these people coming together to support me when I needed it the most, is
Mhm.
what, gave me the courage to like pursue that as in my day life.
Okay, that's nice. So you were saying that when you came here, just lack of that familiarity and lack of that your own people, you saw that how kind and nice the other communities and other people were welcoming towards you, and you thought of being that person for other people.
Correct. Yeah. Canada is full of opportunities and full of people to bring those services and supports you needed.
Hmm.
So for me, it was life changing.
We'll definitely talk more about it, dive deeper into it, of course. But tell us also about this one habit that you have adopted that has changed your life, or something that has become your second nature.
Well, when I came to Canada, I started having more me time, and that's something that I pursue a lot now.
Okay.
And it's a habit of myself, like having that 2 hours doing my nails, 2 hours reading a book, 2 hours doing something. I think is something that everyone needs, and Canada has brought me that because before I didn't have that because I was always full with friends, with family, with
Hmm.
surrounded by people. So I think Canada has taught me to enjoy that a long time.
I think also because you don't have that friends to call to or your parents to go sit with, you end up talking to yourself a little more, right? You start introspecting. Would you agree?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So let me take you back to the time you spent in Venezuela. Tell us a little bit about your formative years and how was it like just growing up there?
Well, Venezuela is a very warm country. What I like about it is the people, the warmth of the people. You feel like you are at home in every corner,
Hmm.
and of course, the warmth of the weather as well. You can go to the beach either in January and in July, and it's the same weather all the time. So I was raised very happy, traveling around my country with a lot of family all around, and enjoying my food, which I miss a lot.
Yeah. And what the focus was on growing up? Were your parents into business or were they like working class? How was it like?
Both my parents are engineers,
Okay.
um, so they were both working and they really wanted me to go into engineering as well.
Okay.
But I did not agree with that, and I went my own path.
So how did you get into becoming a crime news reporter? Before that, tell us about that.
Since I was a child, I was always with a microphone in my hands,
Okay.
either talking, either singing, whatever it was, and I knew it was my passion.
Mhm.
And my mom really tried to help me going into, even architecture or something, because
Okay.
both of them were in that field. They could help me build
Yeah.
a career, right? But I just refused. And then I was like, I need to follow my passion, and that was journalism.
Okay. And how about your siblings? That how many siblings do you have, or how was it like just growing up with them? Because I think we all grew up in that warmth and love, and I'm sure it's here as well. But I'm sure the things are very different in our countries compared to North America. Tell us about that.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, my parents divorced when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
So they both remarried, and then I have two siblings, one for each one of them. We're all girls, and I am the
Okay.
oldest. So it was really nice growing up, going back and forth between my mother's and my father's house, because they live like from one extreme to the other in the country.
Mhm.
So I was always traveling, enjoying Christmas here and there, and then New Year's and vacations. So it was really, really good. My siblings, one of them is in Peru at the moment, the
Okay.
smallest, and the middle one is actually here in Toronto. She just moved here recently.
Okay, okay. And were they also like a rebel because they saw that their eldest sister has chosen the career path of their own choice? Were they also rebel and following a path and doing whatever they wanted?
Yeah. So the smallest, she's also an engineer. So
Oh,
she
okay.
followed my parents' instructions.
Okay.
But the middle one, she's a lawyer. So yeah, same as the sister.
Okay. And what is something that people might not know about Venezuela that you would like to share?
Venezuela has the most amazing landscapes.
Hmm.
You can find snow in the mountains sometimes. You can find beaches. You can find like deserts, everything in the same country.
Hmm.
It's a very small land, but it has very amazing places to go and travel and explore.
Okay. And what about the languages there? I mean, the Spanish is, I believe, the primary language, right? Apart from that, any other languages you speak there?
No, we all speak Spanish, and then there are the Indian, yeah, the Indian languages. So the people that are Aboriginal, they speak
Okay.
other dialects, but the rest of the country we only speak Spanish.
Okay. Okay. And if not a crime news reporter, or you said you want to go into engineering also, but if not either of these careers, what other career you would have chosen?
I think arts. That's my back dream. Anything related to crafts, painting,
Mm,
arts is just something I also love and enjoy doing in my free time.
okay. And do you do that even up until today?
Yeah, I do.
Some sort of crap. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is something that from your home country or from your, tradition, that's something that you have managed to preserve up until today in Canada? What is that?
So what I'm trying to preserve is the food. I have two children, and I'm trying to teach them and raise them with our culture and our food. So I'm trying those traditions not to die. I also brought from Venezuela. I asked my father to bring me like the special pans to cook the food. So I do
Okay.
arepas for breakfast every day, and
Okay.
I'm trying for them to be raised like that.
Well, what kind of utensils? Tell us more about that. What do you mean?
So there is a pan that is like a big circle where you do the arepas. So it's like a flat bread of
Okay.
corn, and then you put them to cook. It's almost, I think you do the naan there, something like that. Very
Hmm.
similar.
Okay. Okay. I asked that because I have brought 5, 6 years ago like a cooker, like a special sort of a cooker, with a whistle on top. I mean, of course, you can buy them here as well. I brought that from India, and whenever I cook, my roommates are like, "I have never seen this kind of vessel before. What is this?" And then sometimes when they stand next to it and it whistles, they all get scared when they see it for the first time. Oh my god, what kind of vessel is this? So that's why I asked.
Oh, I also have that one. Is the pressure cooker
Exactly.
something like
Yes.
that?
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We use that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I mentioned in my intro, that you were, living a comfortable life in Venezuela and was having a flourishing career as a crime news reporter. But then you decided to take an action that led you to run for your safety, so to say. So, I want you to tell us all about that to our listeners.
Yeah. I joined the TV station of my state called Orinoco Televisión. I was at the beginning working in education, in the field of education news, but then my boss saw that I had like too much courage, maybe,
Mm,
and she's like, "I think you will be good for crime news reporter."
mhm,
So then I switched to the font that is crimes, and I really liked it and I enjoyed it, but I didn't really realize how dangerous it was
mm,
until one day there was a crime where five people were killed. Three of them were innocent.
mm,
The other ones were involved in a crime earlier where somebody's child was killed, and then it was a retaliation. But my
mhm,
concern and my problem there is that three people that were in the scene and were innocent were killed. So I was really upset about that. And then when we had the press conference with the director of the police, all the journalists were there, and the director of the police is like, please do not show, we have the CCTV
footage.
showing who did it
Mm,
and everything, but don't say it because it's going to be bad because it's somebody involved in the government.
mhm,
And I said, I am not going to like lie about this to
mhm,
like society. I am very upset and I'm going to say it.
mm.
Bad decision, of course. But I went ahead and I said it on TV. This is a person that did this. And then that brought us a consequence that apparently the wife of the person who did it, who is also the mother of the person that was killed
Okay.
previously, she was hospitalized because like her nerves got into her because she knew that that was going to be bad for them
Mhm,
and people would come after them.
mhm.
So that person decided to go after me and go to the TV station with like 300 people, like with
Oh, wow.
signs saying my name, like Carla, you're done, stuff like that. Like they had stones in their hands. I'm like, okay. Um, so he said, I need you to give me the right of appeal to respond to the news that you did yesterday. I did gave him the chance and I spoke to all my colleagues and I called them to see if they, wanted to support me and go with me. None of them. They're like, no, that's too dangerous.
Oh, wow.
So I went with the cameraman in front of the police, but it was so scary that I called my father. I didn't know if I was going to get out of there alive,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I called my father and I said, this is happening. I didn't want him to know, but I was like, this is happening. I'm right here in front of the police. If something happens, you know what was and who was it. So my father is like, I'm going there. I'm going to pick you up. I'm like, do not do that.
Yeah.
Never. Because it's worst. So thankfully they were there. They threatened me a lot. They said I'm gonna do anything in my power to remove your license as a journalist. Um, like if someday your body appears, nobody's gonna know who did it. Stuff like that.
And that was all in front of the police.
Yeah, but the police in front of the building, but the police was not there. They didn't want to get involved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they are like, we are not. We told you not to do it, and you did
Mm-hmm.
it. So it's like you're on your own. They also told me, the police told me, even if you come here and put a complaint against him, we
Yeah.
cannot proceed it, because he's in the government.
Mm.
So I was on my own, basically. And after that, I was starting having panic attacks. And one day I saw him. and two of his gunmen were walking down in a shopping mall. I was alone with my father. I had a panic
Oh
attack. I
no.
was shaking, and then my father is like, "That's it. You're leaving. You need to leave the country. That's too unsafe."
Yeah. Walk us through that timeline that, okay, when you actually did the news, after how long they retaliated or they tried to retaliate, and then this incident where you were with your father in the mall.
So the incident when I did the news was in October. When I saw him that he asked me for like giving the right of appeal was the next day,
Okay.
and then they decided in my channel to change me the font, so I was not doing crime anymore. I was doing like politics or something
Hmm.
to protect me, so I didn't have to deal with him anymore. But then I saw him like a month after in the
Okay.
shopping, and that's when my father decided, "That's it, you're leaving."
Hmm. Okay. Uh, okay. I wanted to tell us that the day when you were preparing to go live and talk about, this incident, when you had the footage, you had everything, and you were filled with that angst, that why they killed the innocent people. If you remember, about that moment, tell us like what was going on in your mind at that time, because you knew that what kind of repercussion it might come towards you, right? So tell us about
Yeah.
that moment when you were preparing and when you actually delivered the news story.
So when I was in that situation, what I thought was I made a commitment that I was going to be the voice for all the people. I
Hmm.
was going to be the only resource that they have to know the truth. And if I have the truth on my hands, why would I lie to protect
Hmm.
somebody? Of course, that was
Wow.
a risk that I decided to take. And I guess I didn't really thought about how big the repercussions to myself would be, but I was really upset that all the other people that were killed and their families will never know what happened to them
Hmm.
because I needed to protect a criminal, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that was it.
And I remember you were also telling me that I think that person's mother or wife, I believe, was in the hospital, and he was saying that she was really affected by the news, and she ended up, getting to the hospital because she knew that people might retaliate. Is that true?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. When I gave him the right of appeal the next day, she was there.
Hmm.
She was with like the Bible in the hands and all of that. And
Hmm.
but he had a really bad trajectory of doing this.
Hmm.
Like he is very well known to like act as a like the head of a criminal group there. So for me everything was manipulation, and of course it's sad that his son was involved in something like that, but
Hmm.
at the same time, as I said, I don't think that that was the best solution, and that's why I decided to report on that.
Yeah. But well, kudos to you. And I think hats off to you for taking that courage because, like you said, I love what you said that you wanted to be the voice of people and you knew that you won't be able to sleep at night by knowing the truth. That I knew who was the person behind or who's the actual culprit, so to say. You knew about that person and you didn't want to keep it with you and want to share it with the world to see. But yeah, kudos to you. Hats off for taking that action. So that's commendable.
Thank you.
Obviously that was one of the situations which further led you to search about North America, US and Canada, and you decided to come to Canada. So tell us about that preparation phase and how was the process for you like?
Yeah, of course, in a normal situation in a normal country, you will just buy a plane ticket, buy the studies that you want to make in the other country, and just leave. In the moment in my country, we were having this transition period of like, I don't want to go into political discussion, but like my country was in the hands of like Chavez, which was the president at the moment, and he changed all the rules for that, like immigration and all of that. So it was really difficult for me to get the funds because he made illegal to buy dollars in Venezuela.
Oh,
Like
okay.
like any currency, international currency was illegal.
Okay.
So the only person you could buy dollars from was the government,
Hmm.
and you had to do the application and all of that, and like make sure you had the right explanation of why you're buying dollars.
Okay.
So I did the application 3 times and it was denied.
Oh
To,
wow.
two times. At the third time was approved. That's why it delayed a little bit more the actual trip, because for me it would be ideal to like come right away. So it happened in October, and I was able to come. Finally, what it was approved. The funds were approved in February. We
Hmm.
bought the money from the government on February, and then I came in March.
Okay. So when you decided to move here, Carla, what about your family? Were they like under supervision or were they like safe, I believe?
They in that moment I had to move. My mother and my father wanted me. I had like, of course, I stopped working at the TV station, and then I was just at home,
Yeah.
basically waiting for the approval from the government so I could leave, and hiding myself, trying to not be too exposed.
Okay. And there was no sort of like lack of safety towards the family.
I didn't feel like it, but we were also like very cautious,
Scared. Yeah.
like to see, yeah, scared.
Okay. So then you landed in Canada. Tell us about your first day and what were the initial thoughts and emotions?
When finally I came as an international student. I came here to study English for like a year,
Hmm.
and it was great. I made a lot of friends in school.
Hmm.
It was very amazing. But at the back of my head, it's not like majority of people might come here. Oh, I'm just gonna study English and then I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
At the back of my head was always the thought, I need to find a way to stay in this country.
Just yeah.
So yes, I was enjoying the English and the friends and going out, but at the same time, I was like, I need to see what the resources are for me to stay. I can't go back to Venezuela,
Hmm.
right?
So what was the next step after that?
The next step is I started researching, speaking with other Venezuelan people, and I found out that because of my circumstances of what I came here, and I had a lot of proof to demonstrate it, I was able to ask for a refugee claim. And then that's how where I found an amazing lawyer. God bless him.
Hmm.
He was like very amazing as part of my process. I spoke to him. I showed him what I had. He asked me for more proofs, and right away he took my case.
Also, since whenever somebody decides to immigrate, they come with some sort of preparation. Okay, this is the culture there, this is the weather there, this is the places there. But in your case, you just wanted to leave, right? You did not prepare yourself for all that culture exchange or that exposure or the culture shock you might come across. So tell us about that phase, something that completely shocked you about the culture in Canada or something that you were completely unprepared for.
Something that surprised me, uh, like positively, is the multiculturalism.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
loved how you can find Japanese, you can find Indian, you can find Latino everywhere, and that was
Hmm.
something that was very enriching of my experience here. I was like, this is amazing, and I was really happy to be part of the culture. But something that I also saw as like shocking maybe was the weather, of course.
Yeah.
Winters were so hard at the beginning. I could see why, like, when it's dark at 4 p.m. and it's dark until like the next day at 9 a.m., you are
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is always night.
Yeah.
But again, I got to enjoy summers and springs, and that I got to love. I grow to love the country even with the weather.
Mm, okay. And even like with the job search, I believe it might have taken you longer to get the job. Walk us through that job search journey a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like the resume building and like all the stuff that we have experienced in our countries is very different than in Canada. So I really feel like you to be able to be successful to secure a job here, you need to basically do a course on like
Mhm.
to apply, how to do a cover letter.
Yeah.
So yes, it was a lot. It was a lot to really understand what are the requirements and how to like really shape your resume to each position that you're applying to.
Yeah.
Um, but again, it's part of the culture, and it was a little bit difficult to learn.
Yeah. So after how long when I think you landed in 2013, I believe, right?
13, yeah.
So after how many months or after how long did you end up getting your like the first desired job?
The one that I really like, that is the one that I'm currently working in. I got it in 2020
Okay.
because at the beginning I was working here and there, and then after that I decided to go back to college.
So now, Carla, let's just pivot towards, to the time where it was a really tough time, a dark time for you, where you were in a certain relationship and you were pregnant with your second child, with your second daughter, but and you decided, you got that courage to leave that, and because of various reasons, right? Tell us about that time and what was something that was instilled in you that made you that okay, I have to pack my bags and leave this time, because usually people might not have the courage to do that. I wanted to share with us that moment.
Yeah. Here in Canada, when I came, I met somebody, which I thought was going to be with that person forever. We got together, started living together, and we had two children. The first pregnancy was amazing, and then after a while, the relationship became really deteriorating because of like having a baby, not having help. I
Mm,
was totally like relying all my resources and my like attention to the baby, of course.
yeah.
And then I think that took a toll into the relationship. um and then I got pregnant with my second baby, and that's when everything really went downhill. I started to experience domestic violence, and I think it took me since the beginning of when it started. It took me 3 or 4 months before I left. And
Mm,
really, the courage and the motivation to leave, I got it when um, my first baby was 1 year old. I was 4 months pregnant with the second.
mhm.
And when I really saw that I was going to be probably killed with my
Oh
baby on
wow.
my belly, that's what I was like, okay, I need to leave.
Mhm.
So not knowing where to go in, and also the it's not also the physical abuse but also the mental one, where they say
Absolutely, yeah.
if you leave you're going to lose the baby because you have no means to support the baby and the government is
Mhm.
going to take it from you. That's the
Yeah.
only reason why I stayed. So I decided to go on Facebook. I had joined a group of Toronto moms or something like that in
Mhm.
some months before that, and I posted there. I was like, I have nowhere, like nothing else to do. So I posted there, I'm sorry, like I'm pregnant, I have another baby, and if I don't leave, I think I'm gonna like get killed.
Mhm.
I really need help. So somebody as an angel, she said, give me your address, I'm gonna go get you.
Oh
Thank God
wow.
at that time he had left the house, so I had time. I packed 2 or 3 things. That's it. I got my baby, got into the car, and left. This
Mm,
was a complete stranger, but I had no other option to trust.
yeah.
So she decided to bring me like to she bought food for me and my kids, which she took
Mm,
hers to McDonald's. As I told you, like people here just so wonderful. She took me to
yeah.
McDonald's. She bought some stuff for us, and in that time we were calling to see if there was a shelter available, and we got a place.
Mhm.
And she drove me there, and she dropped me. After that, I received 264 messages of women trying to support me.
Wow, that's incredible.
264. And then in that time, I was like, thank you, everyone. We're safe. We made it. The only thing is that I left my house with like nothing. And my baby's like bored. And, she was like having tantrums. She was sad. She didn't understand what was going on. We were like in a place that was
Of
really
course, yeah.
new for her. So this, as I said, this group of amazing women, they were like, "Where are you?" They brought toys, diapers, like everything, everything. I was like so surprised of the support.
Hmm. And is it the same place where you end up going to? You were telling me about the Wood Green Community Services. Was that also like the part of it?
In the shelter where when I was living there,
Okay.
when I was speaking with the social workers, they knew I really had a passion to like get out of poverty, right?
Yeah.
I really wanted to like there are people that decide to just stay at home, but I really wanted to do something with my life, and they knew it.
Hmm.
So they spoke to me about that program. It's called Homeward Bound, and it's by Good Green Community Services.
Okay.
And as soon as I knew about it, I called. They interviewed me. I passed on the interviews, the English test, the math test, everything.
Hmm.
But then I was pregnant yet.
Hmm. Yeah.
And they were like, Carla, we don't really know if you, like, after you have your baby, you're going to be able to commit to 2 years in a college, right?
Absolutely.
So it's better you have the baby and then you come back. um, you are not gonna believe me. I had a C-section, and as soon as I woke up, I saw that the baby was perfect. Everything was perfect. I called
Mhm.
back to the program from the clinic. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm ready.
wow.
My baby's ready. We're perfect. Just give me the chance. And they
Yeah.
did. Two
Yeah.
weeks later, after that, my baby was like 2 weeks old, and we moved to an amazing apartment, 3 bedrooms. um, and I started the preparation for college. It was not easy. I had a newborn and almost 2 years old.
Hmm.
I was breastfeeding. It was a lot, but I was my motivation here is they are babies. They are not gonna remember these struggling times.
Yeah.
By the time I finish all my program, I have a job, I have a house, I have everything and a car.
Yeah.
They are not gonna remember all this time. They're gonna remember me as a empowered woman, and that's what I want from them.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's phenomenal. I mean, you just sitting in your hospital after your delivery, calling that you wanna go and join the program. This is incredible. This clearly shows. I mean, if listeners can really get inspired from you, that just having that passion and courage to help people, help people come out of those toxic situations, for example, and building, instilling that courage in you, like this is the time. You should not accept that as your faith. If something wrong is going on in your life, you can really fight it, you can really come out of it. Sometimes you do need a little bit of support, a little bit of nudge, like in your case, that angel, the lady who just showed up to your house and asked you to get in the car with your children and going. And I think you wanted to be that person, and you saw that there are some amazing kind people, and I think you saw that you can really do that for other people. So that's amazing, Carla. That's
Yeah,
so inspiring to hear that. That's awesome. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. And then, yeah, that's my motivation now, to help other women to like spread the message that it doesn't matter the situation that you're in. It doesn't matter if you don't speak English. It doesn't matter if you don't have a job. It doesn't matter how many children you have. You can survive living the
Hmm.
abusive situation, and you can find the resources in this country and the people to support.
Yeah. But tell me also, Carla, if any of our listeners, I hope not, if any of their acquaintances are in a similar situation, as you were in, and, having that courage to, from the point A to point B of getting up and calling somebody or texting somebody is also really hard. That journey from A to B is also hard. What advice or what suggestion would you give to them, or if any of their friends are in this situation, what would you tell them?
I will tell them that there is also always an option, that there is nothing to be about. The worst is to stay where you are. That's the worst that you can
Hmm.
do.
Yeah.
If you really want to live and you have so many fears, like where are you going to live, what are you going to do, where are you going to get money from, I'm telling you, I have gone through all of those, and
Hmm.
Ontario, Toronto, and Canada as a country has everything in place for you to succeed the way you want, as a mother and as a single mother, as any you want.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. And I will also put the link to, all these communities that you end up joining in the show notes, so that listeners can also check out them. So all the links to that can be found in the show notes. Carla, also tell us about your current role now and what are your daily day-to-day look like?
Yeah, I recently got promoted, and I'm now working as a development and community outreach manager in the Prosperity Project.
Hmm.
The Prosperity Project is an organization that is a Canadian organization that support women and self-identifying women in all areas of life.
Hmm.
And what we do is we are a group of also women just looking for resources, looking for that career leadership and career advancement for women in different trades, in different professions, for women to really find a place where they can be heard, they can be accepted, they can be understood, and we can provide for them all kind of services for them to succeed.
And Kara, didn't you think of going back into your journalist career ever?
I thought of it, but after everything that has happened, I really want to try to work in a space where I can support others by providing them with services
Hmm.
other than being a journalist. That's
Okay.
something that I think it was a dream, and I rarely had the time to fulfill it.
Yeah. Okay. And you were also, I believe, a content creator for some time. Tell us about that. What kind of content was it and where was it?
Yeah, in 2020, I started to go to, like, because COVID had happened and I was at home with the kids. I started to post a lot of content on a platform called TikTok, and I became like very viral at the moment. And then I found
Hmm.
a place where I could work as creating content as advertisement in Spanish
Okay.
for all the different social media platforms. So I'm still working on that. I do videos on daily basis where I offer different services. They hire me to do the ads, and they post it either in Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok.
Okay. And what's your handle on TikTok that people can follow and check out your content? I believe you said it's in Spanish.
I have things in English too. The handle is at Carla0487.
Okay. And the links to check out her social media profiles and to contact Carla can be found in the show notes. Okay, Carla. So now we're in the final segment of the podcast. I call it Beneath the Accent because we are knowing each other beneath the accent. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. You can answer them in one word or a sentence or however you feel like. The idea is just to know more about Carla. So, ready?
Ready.
So, first is the classic question. What advice would you give to Carla, who is in the initial months of landing in Canada?
I will say, do not listen to your fears and just let your dreams drive you to whatever you want to get.
Okay, I think that's a great advice. And is there any best advice that someone ever gave you?
Yes. As a mother, I will share this for anyone that is a parent. There was a person that marked my life, and she said to me, remember, your kids are never going to remember how you were dressing them when they were small, all the toys that you bought for them. They are not going to remember that. They are going to remember you, how you
Hmm.
view and how you present yourself, and how you are at the time present with them, like enjoying with them. And that changed my
Hmm.
life. I
Wow.
started focusing only on them, and I started focusing also in me and being okay with me so they can later try to become a better version of myself.
Absolutely. Love this. Great advice. Is this something you recently bought, Carla, that you now regret?
Yeah. I bought some tickets for a festival, and the festival was suspended and they haven't sent me the money back. So I'm regretting that.
Okay. So, what's next on your bucket list?
Travel a lot.
Where do you want to travel?
So next year, I'm planning to go to Colombia to do the wedding of my dreams.
Hmm.
And after that, I just want to travel Europe, Asia, Thailand, like a lot. I want to travel a lot. That's my goal.
Have you thought about going to India ever?
I do want to go to India, yes.
Okay. If you had to describe yourself as any creature, what would it be and why?
I like monkeys.
So, you would describe yourself as a monkey. Why is that?
Yes, because they are funny.
Okay.
And for me, like laughter is the best medicine. So
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think monkeys are really funny, and I love how they are very similar to humans, like, but they have more freedom than us because they can go on, you know, climbing everywhere. So I really
Okay.
love monkeys.
Okay. What's the most expensive thing you own?
My happiness.
Okay. So now tell us the
Yeah.
real answer. What is the most expensive thing you own?
My car.
Okay.
My car, yeah.
Okay. So what's the most expensive thing you would like to own?
A house.
Okay. So who's your go-to person when you feel stuck?
My sister.
Mhm. So what's the most unusual or unique food that you have ever tried? And did you like it?
I tried ants from
Really? Okay.
Thailand, and I tried worms from Mexico.
And did you like them?
I, I wouldn't say so.
Okay, okay. So I'm assuming you would not try them again.
I don't think so.
Okay. What other cuisines have you tried other than, your own after coming to Canada?
Oh my God, here I have tried a lot. I love Vietnamese food, all Asian food. I love Vietnamese, Thai, Chinese, Japanese, Indian. All Asian is my favorite food.
Okay. If you could swap lives with someone for a day, who would it be and why?
I will swap lives with Lady D, maybe.
Lady D? I'm not sure what who.
Lady Diana, the
Oh,
Princess
okay,
Diana.
okay. Why is that? What would you like to do?
First, she had a lot of money.
Hmm.
She's amazing with the glamour, but best of all, she has the best heart ever, always supporting great causes.
Okay.
And she traveled a lot
Okay.
too. So
Great, great answer. And are there any certain Spanish movies or series that we'd like to recommend our listeners to must watch?
yeah, there are several. There is a movie recently that came out with the situation of Venezuela. It's called Simon.
Okay.
I haven't watched it because it was released last week, but it's basically everything that the government is trying to
Hmm.
hide of what happening in my country. So I think it's very interesting, and I really want to watch it
Hmm.
soon.
Yeah, I think that would be a great recommendation to know more about Venezuela for sure. Yeah. So, Carla, if you could be a contestant on any reality TV show, which one would you choose?
Any cooking amateur show.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
cooking.
Okay. And do you think how far do you think you can go? Finals?
I will be, yeah, maybe finalist. Yeah, I love my cooking. I think
Okay.
I'm getting good.
Awesome. So, describe Canada in one word or a sentence.
Inclusive and resourceful.
And finally, if you could leave me, Carla, with one piece of advice, what would it be?
Chase after your dreams. There is nothing impossible, and whatever you want to be, you are going to be able to do it.
Great, great words. And how would you describe your experience of being on the podcast?
Very fun, and really, it was a really nice experience.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you, Carla, for being on the podcast and adding value to my listeners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, listener, thank you for making it to the end. I highly, highly appreciate you listening the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't as yet, and please share with your friends or anybody you think would like it. And like I always say, we encourage you to follow your heart, but also us on Instagram. The handle is mythickaccent. You can also leave us a review or write to us at hello@mythickaccent.com. So stay tuned and let's continue knowing each other beneath the accent.